In this video, you're going to get the complete, unfiltered truth about Dababel, the real-time translation app created by YouTuber Quackity that's been making waves in 2025. I've spent weeks testing this app extensively, analyzing its features, dealing with its problems, and comparing it to established competitors. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly whether Dababel lives up to its bold promises or if it's just another overhyped celebrity product launch. First, let's address what Dababel claims to do. The app promises real-time translation that can copy the original speaker's voice, essentially allowing you to speak in any language while maintaining your unique vocal characteristics. It's marketed for calls, meetings, travel, and gaming, positioning itself as a universal communication tool that breaks down language barriers. The concept is undeniably impressive. Imagine joining a Discord call with friends from different countries and having your voice automatically translated into their native languages while still sounding like you. For content creators, this could theoretically open up a global audiences in ways never before possible. But here's where reality starts to diverge from the marketing hype. Let's talk about what languages Dababel actually supports because this is where the first major disappointment hits. Despite Quackiti's tagline, speak any language with anybody anywhere, the app currently supports only six languages: English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Japanese, and Korean. That's right, six languages. Not the dozens or hundreds you might expect from something claiming to be universal. For comparison, Google Translate supports over 100 languages, and even voice translation apps like Microsoft Translator offers 60 plus languages. Now, let's discuss the pricing structure, which is where Dababel becomes genuinely problematic. The app charges $9.99 USD weekly as the base subscription price, with maximum expenditures reaching $139.99. Think about that for a moment. You're looking at potentially $520 annually for basic functionality. None of the app's three modes can be used for free. With all the functionality requiring credits, this means you can't even test the core features without paying, which is a massive red flag for any app, especially one with such ambitious claims. The user experience has been frankly disastrous for many users. Multiple users report the app being completely non functional, with issues like inability to save voice recordings, frozen interfaces, and being unable to complete basic setup processes. One user with a Google Pixel 8 Pro described being completely soft locked in the app, unable to progress past the initial setup without backing out entirely. But the problems don't stop at functionality issues. The app was hacked just hours after its launch, raising serious concerns about data security and privacy. When you're dealing with voice recordings and personal conversations, security should be paramount. The fact that hackers breached the system so quickly suggests fundamental security flaws that put your personal information at risk. Let's examine the three main features Dababel offers. The first is text translation, which works similarly to other translation apps but with Dababel's voice cloning technology. The second is direct dubbing, where your voice is translated in real time during conversations. And the third is universal mode, which supposedly allows you to understand any content on your device, whether live or recorded. In my testing where the app actually worked, the voice cloning technology showed promise but was inconsistent. Sometimes the translated voice maintained recognizable characteristics of the original speaker, but often it sounded artificial or distorted. The real time translation had noticeable delays that made natural conversation difficult, especially in group settings where timing is crucial. The target audience seems to be content creators, particularly streamers and YouTubers who want to reach international audiences. However, the current limitations make it impractical for most use cases. The six language restriction alone eliminates the vast majority of potential global reach, and the technical issues make it unreliable for professional use. Compared to established alternatives, Dababel falls short in almost every category. Google Translate offers more languages, better accuracy, and costs nothing for basic use. Microsoft Translator provides real-time conversation translation with broader language support. Even newer AI-powered translation tools offer more reliable performance at fraction of the cost. The app's marketing has been misleading at best. Quackity positioned Dababel as a tool to remove language barriers in streaming, but the current reality is buggy. Overpriced app with extremely limited functionality, the celebrity endorsement seems to be carrying more weight than the actual product quality. For content creators specifically, the value proposition is questionable. Yes, being able to communicate with international audiences in their native language could be valuable, but only if the technology works reliably. The current state of Dababel makes it unsuitable for professional streaming or content creation where technical failures could ruin live broadcasts or important conversations. The voice cloning aspect raises additional concerns beyond just technical performance. There are ethical implications around voice replication technology, especially when conversations involve multiple parties who may not consent to having their voices processed and potentially stored by the app. The recent security breach only amplifies these privacy concerns. From a business perspective, Dababel's pricing model seems designed to capitalize on initial hype rather than provide long term value. Weekly subscriptions at premium prices suggest a focus on short term revenue extraction rather than building a sustainable user base through quality and fair pricing. The timing of Dababel's launch is particularly unfortunate. Quackity returned from nearly 3 years of absence to launch this app, building significant anticipation among his fan base. However, the execution has been so poor that it risks damaging his reputation and credibility for future projects. For potential users considering Dababel, here's my honest assessment. Save your money. The combination of extremely limited language support, prohibitive pricing, technical issues, security vulnerabilities, and misleading marketing makes this app impossible to recommend in its current state. If you absolutely need real time translation capabilities, stick with established alternatives like Google Translate, Microsoft Translator, or dedicated interpretation services. These options offer better language support, more reliable performance, and transparent pricing structures. The concept behind Dababel has merit, and voice cloning technology for translation could genuinely revolutionize international communication. However, the execution is so fundamentally flawed that it feels more like an early prototype than a market ready product. My advice is to wait and see if Dababel addresses its core issues over the coming months. They would need to dramatically expand language support, fix the technical problems, implement proper security measures, and reconsider their pricing strategy to become competitive in the translation app market. For content creators specifically focused on proven methods for reaching international audiences, quality content that transcends language barriers, collaboration with creators from different regions, and using established translating tools for community interaction rather than gambling on unproven technology. The bottom line is that Dababel represents a missed opportunity. The hype and celebrity backing created expectations that the product simply cannot meet in its current form. Unless you enjoy paying premium prices for the privilege of beta testing broken software, I'd recommend staying away from Dababel until it proves it can deliver on even a fraction of its ambitious promises. This review isn't about wanting Dababel to fail. I genuinely hope they improve the product and fulfill their vision. However, as consumers, you deserve honest assessments based on actual performance rather than marketing promises. In its current state, Dababel is overpriced, underdelivered, and potentially risky to users. That's the honest truth about this highly anticipated but ultimately disappointing translation app.